Hmm? Yeah. Okay. Hey, babe. Will you come turn the light off? Hey, everybody. Do we have any questions? I'm here a little early. Um, let's see. I am. Hey, everybody. So what I'm doing right now is getting all of my programs together so they can record, streaming a lot of different places at one time. Uh, Hold on 1 second. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. I'm waiting for my equipment and I'm waiting for 9 o'clock. When 9 o'clock comes, I'm going to start talking. We'll be talking about where was humanity in the Garden of Eden. We'll be talking about people who have hair loss, things they can do for it, and things that we have here. And also, another herb or spice. I'll think of which one it is that I want to discuss. I'm going to point out the difference between African wild ginger and regular ginger so that people aren't getting regular ginger and thinking they're going to get the same results. They get close to the same results, but the one that works for the mind is the African wild ginger. It has a different protein in it that works with depression and anxiety. And the regular ginger is a mutation of the African wild ginger, so it won't have that. That is removed out of it. So you won't be able to use regular ginger to get the same effect as African wild ginger. You have to order African wild ginger. I wanted to point it out. Um,
Hey, good morning. I've called you 3 or 4 times. If you don't call me back, I'm gonna call the police and let them do a welfare check. Bye. Hey, come. I'm Finley, also known as.
Hey, what's up? What's up? 443-318. Hey everybody, it's Inanna. I'm getting ready to talk to you about where you were in the Garden of Eden. I'm going to talk to you about how it was back then, and also about a little bit about gender. And tell you some more, and just a little bit of history. Same old stuff for me. Okay, so let's get this started. I'm still waiting about 4 more minutes, but if you have questions, this is the time to ask them. And if you want to say something, this is the time. Um, I wasn't gonna come on TikTok, but y'all, I'm on YouTube doing this stream as well. And if you can meet me over there, I would like to see you over there. But I'll come back here on Monday nights. Um, everybody okay? Everybody okay? Yeah. How's it going? I hope that it's good. Okay, so earlier, I was talking about the Garden of Eden, and I was talking about Gilgamesh, and I was talking about Inanna, and how Gilgamesh had pulled up the thing. Last week, I spoke to y'all about how he could use energy to be used, human energy, and about how different parts of the body conduct energy. And the main parts that conduct energy would be the teeth and the ligaments. They conduct energy throughout the body. actually a circuit. So they're using that information to make things that respond to that type of energy. And the research paper that I spoke about on it, they had a lengthy part which spoke on it, and it was called the intrinsic piezoelectric. See, this is really hard for y'all to get this info. So I'll put it in the bottom of this actual live. I'll put this information for you can go and find it. Um, I want you to be able to, read along with me with this stuff. But one thing they did say was natural piezoelectric materials. We have teeth, DNA, crystals, and where's tendons. All of this stuff conduct electricity. Natural piezoelectric materials. Your tendon, your bones, your enamel, your DNA, all conduct electricity. So we was talking about the third eye and talking about electricity. Your body conducts electricity through the bone, the teeth enamel, through the tendons and everything, even through your DNA. I hope you have been enjoying using it and feeling the health and the energetic that you get when you do open your third eye. Some people probably haven't slept in a long time because it really, we never needed sleep. That's sort of like pushed upon us. Um, and man still does not know why it's imposed, and it could be all a part of the grand scheme. But other animals don't sleep as long as we have to sleep. We don't have to. We shouldn't have to sleep so long. I don't think we do. I have to get more evidence on it. Of course, and that's a hard way to start out. But where were you at the time of the Garden of Eden? Do you know? Do you even know what was going on? You may not, because you seem to feel many people, and if all you know is what you've been taught, then you will have, a limited view. But guess what? A lot of people has taught us that Adam and Eve was the only thing in the Garden of Eden, because that's the only thing they read in the Bible. But in the tablets, in the books that's older, like the Epic of Gilgamesh is one, the Numa Elish is two. All of those two right there, and the creation tales. Those things are the Atrahasis. Those things tell you that a and why is that story so important? Well, it lines up with all of the previous texts. This stuff happened, and it's lining up throughout history. We're finding the evidence of the buildings. We're finding stuff. So we're pretty much taking the story of Enki and Enlil as true, because everything that they wrote in there has turned out to be true. I mean, they haven't had a way to disqualify it. I mean, so that's why I would say I'm using it. So the Epic of Gilgamesh, for example, they said Gilgamesh was around when King Og was in the evidence that Og was a giant and all that, and him and Gilgamesh were friends. They're fighting all about that. So it's true. So that's why I'm going back to it. So there was you have the tree of life, and you have the tree of knowledge, but we're not going to talk about the tree of knowledge right now. We're just going to talk about Inanna and Gilgamesh in the tree of life. Okay, so according to the story, Inanna was in the garden. There was a demon snake, a demon bird, and a demon woman living in the tree of life. So even right then and there, all of them is there and man. So now you got three things and man, and then you got Inanna and Gilgamesh, which is the giants, the Nephilim. the Elohim, all of them too. So was the only one there. And that's where you are when you read the Bible. You think that the only thing that was in the Garden of Eden was humans. And that's why I haven't brought y'all out of the Garden of Eden talking about nothing. Because y'all still don't even understand what was going on in the Garden of Eden itself. And so it's not, I'm not criticizing you. I'm trying to bring you there. So come with me. Under that tree, you would look out and you would see giants over there, a demon woman. You look to this side, you're going to see a demon snake. And then you look right that way, and you're going to see aliens inking them. There's a lot going on around that tree. See, that's where we all fooled at right there. Didn't know that, just thinking it was just Adam and Eve because the way the book been cut. Now, now you're looking out, and you want to know what were you, and how do I know all this stuff was there? The Sumerians writ it in stone. The Egyptians wrote it, and so did the book of Urantia wrote about it. The book of Melchizedek, every book but the Bible wrote about it. The book of Melchizedek, which is the biblical book, is a Jewish book. They all wrote about this stuff going down. And I just so happen to know all this stuff, read it, done been studying it. I can't put you right back to it. I have to get somebody else to put you right back to it. I'm just telling you to just imagine all that. Now I just draw that picture for you in your mind, but you haven't even had the mind blowing part. Where were you? Oh, you sitting under the tree. What was your purpose? You was their food source. You the food source for all them. You the food source. So let me go on with this right here. I did a little thing for you. Where was you at the time of the Garden of Eden? Okay, the Garden of Eden is a place of antiquity. It's revered by many cultures around the world, and everybody know about it. We're discussing where humans were before the Garden of Eden was planted, and where humanity was at the time when Garden of Eden was growing, and what are we doing without the tree of life now that it's gone? Okay, before the Garden of Eden was planted, in the book of Urantia, they speak of the tree of life being at Enki's abode. So Enki touched down, parted the reeds, and he planted the garden, the tree of life, right? And he hadn't even gotten done with the Garden of Eden, but he had that tree of life. That's how old that symbol is. That's why I love it so much. That is the oldest symbol and the closest we can possibly get to our creation. So the Garden of Eden yet. They came, the rest of it came after the tree. So the tree was first when he touched down. He put it down. The book of Urantia, and one of the birth goddesses, one of the few women that he had carrying his embryos to create humanity. She was a birth goddess, and she was there, and she carried the Adamu, the Adam. She was the one that delivered the Adam. Okay, now the Adamu would have fell under the giants. See, where was you at? Where was you at? You wasn't that. You wasn't that. You was already there. They made that when they took one of us humans and made the Adam. See what I mean? You got to know where you was. You was standing there looking as they did that. They took one of your kind and they took them and they made the Adam over there and made giants with them. Okay, wade in human blood. They ate humans, baby. The demon bird ate humans, was standing next to the giants according to the Egyptian text. Okay, all of them animals that I described to you eat humans. That's where you was at. You was on the menu. I ain't even done yet. Man was on the outside of the Garden of Eden. That's a fact. Looking in at what they was creating. And the archaeologists found it because they found that we wasn't even in the Garden of Eden because we have Gobekli Tepe, which is older than the supposed Garden of Eden, and we was already in Göbekli Tepe. That's what it proved. That's why I love the site so much. It proved that when they did the Garden of Eden, man was already doing his thing. How you gotta put it all into context now. We was here. Somebody landed over in the Garden of Eden, went over there, grabbed a human, did something to it, made giants. The giants that they made ate humans. Okay, it was already a demon bird, which I'm finna get to, and a demon woman and a demon snake, and now we got the giants. All three of them eat humans, and the alien. All of them eat humans. We just a little food source. See what you talking about? You want to pray to these people? Hold on, let me finish. The Garden of Eden has been sort of proved to be have been located near Mesopotamia, and is used supposedly near modern Egypt. That's where the map thing will take you. But after the Garden of Eden collapsed, and it collapsed because Gilgamesh pulled up the tree of life, trying to get that demon bird, that demon snake, and that demon woman out of there. He done pulled it up by the roots. He done snatched it clean up out the ground. Because of them actions, our life got shortened, and Nana died, and Gilgamesh died. People started to die when he pulled up that tree. And the first one to die was Inanna, a birth goddess. Gilgamesh died also because he pulled up that tree. See what I'm saying? And our life was shortened because he pulled up that tree. It was not to do with eating the fruit or whatever, eating the meat and being tricked and all that stuff. It was the fact that they were making us. They were making us, and that whatever the tree of life would have been, he snatched it up out the ground. He shortened everybody's life because him and Inanna died after he did that. Okay, so there's way more beings. Now think about it. Now think about the Garden of Eden. Think about what you know. Okay, you know the Garden of Eden. You know Adam, the Adamu, was there. You hadn't realized you was on the outside of the Garden of Eden, but you was. You wasn't even created there. That was the giants that was created when they took a human and hooked something to it and made the giants. Okay, you was already on the outside. You weren't even in there. Okay, that's where you lost that. You wasn't even made in there. You was already before that. Don't you never forget. See the giants they done created, done snatched up the tree of life. And then out of the tree of life come flying a demon bird. He goes to a civilization and he takes over that civilization. You could just about guess who that demon bird was and what civilization he went to. I ain't gonna say no names, but you know which one it was. Anyway, um, the demon snake. He left slithering off from the gods. All right, I ain't gonna say no names. You just know who it is, right? Right. All right, follow me because I don't want to offend nobody, but that's where they went. Okay, and you know, let's use the eye. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, but that demon bird, that demon woman that have give birth to demon rulers, what do you think we fall under? I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying. She went off and she have babies that raise up to be messiahs and everything else. Leaders, messiahs, everything. That's what her babies be. You figure it out what that is. I ain't got no comment. Them, all of them, those things right there, those four things. You got the aliens, they probably in Antarctica. More than likely, they in Antarctica. Let's be real. The aliens probably in Antarctica, but you have the giants got killed off with the flood, but that demon bird and that demon woman and that demon snake never got killed. They probably underground or somewhere here on this earth ruling us by putting these figures in place that we got. Okay, so after they went off to these civilizations, I'm gonna have to use one name. This one demon bird named Thoth. They called him a demon bird man. Okay, but he was a bird man, but he was over there in Egypt somewhere when he was ruling. Okay, now they got Egyptian tales of when he was the king, and they got tales of when the giants was. They said that they were walking in human blood. They would wade in human blood. Okay, that's right there that you know they weren't even about your love. Okay, I hate to say it, but they just drank human blood. They made beer out of human blood, baby. That's all they drank was human blood when they was doing this stuff. So you better figure it out. They did not stop drinking blood. They did not stop needing dead bodies. All right, but I ain't even. Let me get back. When these demons went and formed their societies, they demanded human sacrifices. At the time of the headhunters, at the time when man was doing all these sacrifices, they were trying to appease these things because they ate humans. Don't you get it now? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why they was about to kill their kid, trying to feed this demon. Okay, look, all of them, even in the Bible, there is a requirement of human sacrifice. Still want to follow a religion? All of them require human sacrifice. And they're not gone anywhere. They're not gone anywhere. So the sacrifice is on a way another level. The sacrifice is done when they do bombs, when they let people die of sickness and stuff like that. That's their way of doing the sneaky down low sacrifice. Those sacrifices are still required to this very day, and you are part of the sacrifice ritual, food. Now, look, look in your history. But Thoth said it. He said, I'm finna go over here to the Mayan people. When he went to them, they started sacrificing. They sacrificed 30,000 people a year. They had to sacrifice to feed him. Feed him a river of blood. He needed a river of blood. One of those pyramids got a river of blood stains down there under it, with blood just ran down under it like it was flowing in a river to feed that one. And he admitted he was going to the Mayans, and they was over there cutting off their people head, and they wasn't happy about it. They didn't want to have to feed him they people, but he was making them feed them his people. Yes, that's where all the human sacrifice came from. Those demons that came out that tree demand human blood. Make no doubt about it. And they don't care what color you is because they like the inside. All of those animals and all of my study, nothing so they dead. They're not dead. They know how to change shapes. They make people get up there and make life and death situations. And when they make them, a lot of people die, but they done got what they wanted, their sacrifice. And you, my dear, are a part of the game. So I got one thing I want to put right here. That's what I wanted to point out to you. Know where you was at in the Garden of Eden. You weren't even in that mother. And the beast and everything that came out the Garden of Eden drank human blood. You still want to worship it? All of the ones when the demon snake, you know he ran probably, you know exactly where he ran. Anyway, the demon snake at that time they was doing human sacrifice too. They had to sacrifice to keep them that blood. They had to be in a river, bathed in a river of human blood. You had to keep them flowing with blood to keep them happy. They didn't like nothing but blood and meat and flesh. Do you think that's changed? First of all, no. First of all, in all the studies, it said never said those creatures died. And no writing I ever seen said those creatures died. That means they still here. Okay, and there's another thing about it is, do you think that that could be the reason why some of the systems are set up so they can sacrifice people to demons? I think so. Um, so let me do a little flow chart because this is how many creatures was around. It was this many creatures around the tree of life. See how many there was? And you up here at the top, but you in the food supply. You in the food supply. This how it was. You see what I'm saying? So it was this many creatures around the tree of life at that time when they was doing that. And you thinking you the only one. So now does that put you in a different perspective of what you is? Do you the food source for these places? Now you can take that for these demons. You can take that right there, and you can feel like a fool. I don't want you to. I want you to feel wise. I want you to know that you're the food source for something, right? We ain't at the top of the food chain, right? So we better learn how to stick together because they can just do what they want to us. You ought to read some of the Egyptian texts the way they used to eat us. And if they ever was to show back up and be walking through human blood again, we're going to need to stick together. That's just plain and simple. I mean, we did not win against them. They won. It took a flood for us to get on the top. So we gonna be stupid and run out there and do all this stupidity, then we gonna be on the bottom again. Cause when they land, do you think they ain't gonna have some more? Do you think they gonna come down here looking small? Or do you think they're gonna bring them big jokers? They said one, even in the Bible, one of them killed 180,000 people. Really? 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 You don't stand a chance against them, and I don't stand a chance against them, but we might have a better chance if we stuck together. That's a fact. That's all I got to say. Because look at this. This is all we stand to face. If they bring their giants, we'll have to fight them too, along with the aliens. If that demon snake come back, that demon bird come out the ground. If these creatures, all I did was went underground and went up in Antarctica and went in different places and hid. When they do come back out, you know, we have to try to figure out how we're going to defend ourselves against them. But I hate to say to you, if you need to study the real thing, because guess what? That there is not one mention of God in the Bible. God is not mentioned not one time. Not one time in the whole book. Yeah. So what are you doing? What are you doing? You know why we're turning on each other and trying to kill each other and do all this stupid stuff? Somebody out there, for example, that demon woman, she could have a baby, put it in charge of us, and make us have fighting against each other. She can do that. She has demon babies, the special babies that are different. So if she can do all this stuff, then she's doing that to us and keeping us looking up to the demons. That's why we have iniquity between each other. So now I didn't make the demon woman up, and I didn't make the demon nut snake up, and I didn't make the demon bird up. I just told you everything that was in the Garden of Eden at that time. You can even, and it was even more than that, because I did not add Gilgamesh was there because he had to be there to pull down the tree of life. You understand? I didn't even add Gilgamesh. I just said to be around. For example, if Enkidu was around, then Og was around, I can probably call off the whole line of giants right there. You know, right there in that little batch, I can get 6 or 7. So we wasn't by ourselves in the Garden of Eden, right? And then you think about the demon bird that ran away when he pulled up the tree. There is a religion. I don't want to say no names. There's a religion that be worshiping that. And what he does is he got with humanity and caused a whole bunch of bloodshed, and they don't even know that he made them do it to get his blood supply. And and the reason I say blood supply is in the writing that I was listening to the other day, though, it said this one was the first time I had heard this one too. It said they would put the blood into the beer and drink blood laden beer, and they loved it to get high off of it. But they wanted it only with that blood in it. So they made beer out your blood, baby. Ain't no way you can hit me with that book and make me do right, baby. You can sprinkle it on me, but I'm going to find my truth. And I found this out a long 25 years ago. I just ain't told y'all, but but when I died and I came back, he told me he want me to tell y'all this. Y'all, yes, it's a creator up there. I don't know if it's inky or not. I ain't that big on it. But guess what? What you got your head turned in the wrong direction. Your head turned over here like this when he over here like that. So I don't know what I can do about that. But I'm just telling you the truth. This is straight history. I have not even brought y'all out the Garden of Eden. I had to do all these different sermons and talking about this because I needed you to be in the right place in your mind and stop thinking you was created in the Garden of Eden and stop thinking you is the only one. And also needed you to know that the Bible, there's books older than the Bible that talk about humanity, and there's a lot of them. So you need to look at those books and everything, look at everything. And once when I get y'all all caught up and you realize where you at in humanity and realize that those demons are still manipulating sections of society. Other people can break it down better than me. I know there's one guy who can break down probably every one of them sections of humanity that's being manipulated. But I won't say no name on him. I'm leaving it in the big chunks. I'm leaving it at boom, 5 people, 5 parts, right? But it can be broken down. Each one of these parts can be broken down into segments. But I ain't trying to go that far. I'm just trying to get you to realize all these circles of things was in around that tree in that Garden of Eden, and it wasn't just like what you was thinking, right? And then you realize that, and then you like, okay, so they made me feel, and they will make you feel like life started in the Garden of Eden, which it didn't. It started many, many, many years before that. They make you feel like you was the only one in the Garden of Eden, which we clearly got evidence of 5 beings being in the Garden of Eden, and none of them being the real God on top of that. Yeah, yeah, it's like that. I'm trying to say it's sweet, but it's hard to give you these biscuits. It's hard to give you these biscuits. I know it is, but I want you to know that what you are looking for, you're praying, you're begging to something other than your real God. Giants that drink human blood, baby. Real deal. Real deal. And you can go through the Bible and watch each one of them being attacked by giants. So even that part, you can go look up yourself. I gave you the list of giants. Read it, and then go find those names, and you'll see different civilizations being attacked by giants. I wasn't lying when I came on here, and I ain't lying now. And now that you see this, and you see that it was 5 different beasts that had to be satisfied in the wheel of life, and you see that you was in there, you're a part of it. You the food source. I didn't know I was the food source until I found out those guys drank blood. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was the food source, but the way I knew that I was the food source is just being a scientist. Just like I said, the bird and the demon snake in the same tree. The only way they could survive would be if there was an outside food source that they both could eat. Because other than that, they kill each other off. And I said, where? That's what made me make this whole circle. Remember last time I talked to y'all, I said, well, there was something wrong with the cycle when you got a bird, a snake, and a woman in a tree. I said the snake would eat the bird's babies, and the bird would eat the snake babies. Nothing would. It would be crazy. It would be chaos. Okay, but that's what made me say, what did they eat? Okay, now if there was an additional food source for them, they could continue on in that tree. Who was the food source? It was us. We was the food source. We was the food source. So that's how I found out. But then, I had to go confirm it and looking up what the Egyptians wrote about when they had them gods. So they were the ones who wrote directly of the gods. And they make no mistake about it. They said they used to eat and drink our blood and wade. They would kill so many of us, they could walk through our blood, wade through it. Baby, when I heard that, you talking about me going and beg them for forgiveness? My nine. Baby, please. So now, when you think about them coming back, Inky and them, oh, they're gonna come back. Baby, you don't want them to come back. You don't want them to come back. They're gonna eat your ass. Excuse my language. You don't want them to come back. But here's the thing. Another thing I wanted to point out. One more, because I don't want to be ranting. I always want to give you some stuff, and you go follow it on. This is another thing I noticed they do to you. to make you feel fear. I'm not into fear. I hate fear. You know how they say it's gonna be a big old calamity, and then you gonna be he gonna come back and he gonna save you and all. They talk about the big apocalypse and they talk about the big go down, right? They talk about how bad it is, right? Well, it is a weather phenomenon. A lot of things in the Bible that they said were because of God are weather phenomena. Like, um, the flood was a weather phenomenon. The earth rocked on its axis and made a flood. I mean, a lot of stuff that they said was due to God was actually due to earth cycles, natural phenomenon, a meteorite or something like that. Then they say that's what made it happen and make you feel fear that God gonna come and strike you with electricity and all this stuff. And really, in reality, it's just putting a lot of fear in you so you do what they say. They need that control over you so they can make you fall into the trap of being the next one sacrificed. Yeah. It's a little trip trap to make you be a sacrifice. All of it is set up to make you be a sacrifice. You are their sacrifice. So we got big people in society that don't mind sacrificing a few lives. And that's what they've been doing. They've been doing human sacrifice for a long time. And it ain't never stopped. And all this time, somebody is sacrificing humans every day to these beasts who control certain aspects of different societies. So that's what I wanted you to know. And the knowledge of this going on and being able to be account of each person that and be accountable because, like, for example, I can't be mad at some guy. He in charge of a country and he make a bad decision. I can't be mad at him. He could be under my control, or he could be that one that's working directly for that other being that has made promises to him. If he do it, he got to do his job, and that's what I'm trying to say. That's what happens. They put people in high positions, and then they make big accidents, big death toll, and it looked like an accident. Guess what I found out? I found out they don't even have to eat the flesh. When the body dies, the molecules that they want can be gotten out of the air, either in the smell or the burning of that body. They can absorb the molecules that they need from the dead body without even eating. Oh, you waiting on them to come down here and bite the leg? They can just, they invisible anyway. Come down here and just absorb the daggone nutrients they want from the dead body and go on. So when somebody do something off the wall and kill somebody out of nowhere, they just be wanting to eat. I mean, they are really in control, and we think we are in control. But they did it on purpose. They changed our vision so we couldn't see them, so they can have better control of us. I kid you not. It's in the books. It's in the books. You got to read the actual houses. You got to read the Enuma Elish. You got to turn around and read the book of Urantia. You got to read these books besides the Bible, so you can learn all the stories. See, I've been doing this for a long time, so it's really hard for me to get like go back right to one spot and then give it to you like that because it's like 35 years of stuff wrapped up in one. But my thing was I wanted to get when I first started, I wanted to know, you know I wanted to know about man, and I think I do know now what went down. We was invaded and they forced themselves upon us. We're still in their cycle. We never got over the invasion. We're still being used the same way we were when they got here. They just got smoother at hiding it. So it's kind of like make you wonder: are we ever going to get out there and embrace? I don't think so. I think that we're in there embracing, We better make the best that we can, because I don't see how we're gonna do it unless we go down to Agatha and get them, kill them. We can't beat them. So, I mean, what do we got? Just each other. That's what I was saying. They don't care what color you is when they eat you. They don't even care. And in the past, when we tried to feed them and be nice to them, they took our food, whatever we gave them, and then they ate us too. So they already told the nature of the beast. They told what we're gonna deal with. Then we're seeing motherships and stuff like that. You think a little old 3 foot guy gonna get out that ship? You think they're gonna let something little get out? They intelligent. They're gonna let something big and terrible get out. I hate to say that, but if I was coming to invade a little thing and I was 3 feet tall, I would be done made me some drone things so big until they wouldn't have a chance. That's what they did when they did with the giants. We couldn't defend ourselves against some giants. The giants won. We couldn't win. You don't think they're gonna do that again with something just as big and terrible? I do. So again, I am sorry to offend you. At least 5 creatures was around the tree of life. Okay, and that was humanity, giants, demon snake, demon bird, alien visitor, and demon woman. All of them. The alien made all of these, but he's still there. He's in Antarctica. I mean, we already know that these creatures did not die. They went underground. Even heard them talking about it when you read the Book of Thoth. He was one of these, and one of these beings here, and you hear him talking about we going underground. That's where they went. They went underground. All right. They didn't die. And Thoth is the one who built the pyramids. He built it just high enough that it'd be too high for the water. That was like a prank on God. That lets you know that there's another God, and y'all worshiping the Anunnaki. And there's a God on high. But when he got ready to flood them for breeding with the humans, um, he was so evil until he went and built something taller than all of the waters on earth. Because he was bad when it come to math. Now I look up to him with that. He was like, you know what, you gonna flood me? I'm gonna go build a tower taller than all the water on earth, and he did it too. Bad boy. He was a bad boy. But that's not gonna make me forget the fact that he drank human blood. Okay, I can learn from him, and I might to steal his style, but I don't want to be like him. You know. So okay, so we talked about that, and so I don't know if I talked to you about hair loss, right? Well, hair loss. Did you know that peppermint oil increase your blood flow in your scalp as much as Rogaine does? And you could be using that instead of Rogaine. That's just a little knick-knack for you to chew on if you're losing your hair. But let me tell you this right here. Something else that you could consider. Maybe y'all put on your marching shoes. Maybe y'all realize that when that stuff was happening to Cain and Abel, that y'all still was on the outside of the Garden of Eden, that none of that stuff happened to you. That's really the slap upside the head for you, love. And I don't mean to hurt you, but you weren't even in the Garden of Eden. You was on the outside looking in. As soon as you learn that and stop associating yourself with the Anunnakis, you'll be better off. And that's for every human, not just um black. You thinking that? Mm-mm. That's for every human being. We wasn't even created in the Garden of Eden. We was already out there. And then they created something in the Garden of Eden, a huge giant that came out and attacked our civilizations, raped our princesses, so they could take the thrones. That's how they took the thrones. So that they could be legit. They just go ahead and kill the guy and just rape the female and make her have a strange baby, and they become the king. That's how they did it. And that's exactly how they took the kingship and everything. Because we didn't even have kings. The Sumerians said kingship was lowered from heaven. That was at the time when they lowered the giants down as kings over the humans. So that let you know that none of that stuff was pertaining to you, what you were doing. You are earthling. You are the original man, the earthling. You was given this third eye that they cannot duplicate no matter what they do. That's why the giants were so dumb. That's why the giants killed each other, ate each other, drank each other blood, did all stupid stuff. Because they didn't have this third eye that we have. And if you take a woman from Earth, her third eye ability is gone. It is only due to the magnetic force of being born here on Earth. The same way a deep water squid has a special bladder for the deep water. And if you bring him up out of the deep water, that bladder ain't no good. Your third eye. That ain't no good if you take it away from Earth gravity. So they realize that all of the energy that is in you cannot be harnessed off of Earth. So they have tried and tried, but they can get a body, but they can't get that third eye part to be reproduced. So you are special. We have to learn to connect with our third eye and use it. Use it. Use it to talk to one another. Stop speaking so much and learn to talk with our mind. I know that sounds crazy, but I do it all the time to people when they hear me and we hear each other. So it can be done. You just need to learn how to use it and tap into those things that you have the ability to do. Now, if I could bring you out of the Garden of Eden, I stand you up from all the harsh things that I've said. If I could stand you up and walk you out of there and let you look up and see a brighter day, I would. I would. But I don't like the idea of you being stuck in the dark the whole time. And you've been in the dark a lot. And some of my loved ones, they are still in the dark and they don't want to leave out of the dark. And they may feel safe in there. But you don't need to pass this trash on to your kids. I mean, tell them the truth. Somebody come running up to them with a Bible, tell them, man, we was there before that Bible. We ain't even in it. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. Tell your kids the truth so they don't grow up with this closed up mind, scared on the ground, begging. That's what you doing, praying to an Anunnaki God. Get up! And that's all I got to say. I mean, I get mad. I be like, get up. Because I'm like, okay, so you're going to keep on kneeling down to it, doing it, knowing that they done did this and all that and everything that went this way and all that way. And I don't know. God is good. But I think this game with this human sacrifice part that's going on that don't got nothing to do with the creator. The creator don't want you to be sacrificed. The creator didn't. All right. I think all of them made us for a food source. These aliens, they all interfering for a food source. We their main food source. They just need blood. So, they can get a few of us or 100 of us and they can just let them stay somewhere and just suck all the blood out of them, get blood, and let it keep rejuvenating and get more and keep getting more. Then get rid of them and then get another batch. They can be getting their blood supply like that. They can be getting their blood supply from the organs and stuff that we produce when we die. They can be getting, which I know they are, they get their blood, like COVID gave them a whole lot because they had a lot of bodies to suck stuff from on that time. And they haven't revealed quite how they get the nutrient. I know the Egyptians said they would put blood in their beer so they could drink blood. I don't know which one said they were chewing on meat. So, but I know it's our blood. You gotta kill somebody to get their blood. Either way, I don't care. That's why they be finding them bodies, those strange deaths and stuff, and they don't have nothing wrong with them. but no blood. Who knew? They drink blood. So that's what I wanted to say to y'all. Now I talked to y'all for 45 minutes. Y'all got something y'all want to say to me? I mean, I'm gonna say it again. We're gonna go over one more time. This is notably the list of beings that was around besides humans. There's giants. There's the demon snake that was in the tree of life. There's the demon bird that was in the tree of life. There's the demon woman that was in the tree of life. And then there's the aliens that bred with the humans to make the giants. All of them was at the tree of life. Not just Adam and Eve. And you wasn't even in the Garden of Eden. You was on the outside of the Garden of Eden, and they was on the inside, making these giants to come out and attack us. And everything around the Garden of Eden, these many beings eat humans. These eat humans. All of them. And none of them died during the flood. So we have them, all of them feeding off of humanity, making us do war, making sickness, making plane crashes, car crashes, whatever they can make so they can get blood. And in my recent studies, I found out, guess what I found out? I found out they don't even have to eat it. They can absorb it by osmosis. They can just absorb the nutrients from the dead body by osmosis through their skin, through their body. Wow. Wow. So they don't even got to chew the food. They're just going to absorb the juice. I don't know what's going on, but this is true. So now we had them in the mothership was all out there, and we have all these incidents. What do y'all have to say about that? Is it okay? I mean, what? And when I say all of these creatures was here at the beginning, nobody want to listen to me. They was here and they here now. These things went on. The demon snake went on and took over the Indian people. They got all kind of gods that's got the snake in them. They demanded blood sacrifice. The bird took over something. The demon woman, we fall under that one. So, we fall under the demon woman. So we also fall under well, that's it. We fall under that. And then we, the humans, were on the outside when it was all divided up. See, that's what I'm saying. We just a food source. When they divided it all up, they didn't give us no DV on it. We the food source. They all divided the humanity up into sections as food. Not on religion. They don't want you to worship them. They want to eat you. It's just that simple. So that was my story for today. And I've spoken to you, and now I feel like we can walk out of the Garden of Eden and actually talk about what's going on once we got out. And that's when I brought to you to the second part was once we stepped out of the Garden of Eden. No, once the tree of life was torn down and they came out the Garden of Eden, they ran over to our societies and demanded blood sacrifices. And during that time, each society was sacrificing humans to their gods. But really, these wasn't their gods. They was the things that came out the Garden of Eden, the things that were made. That was that demon snake. They had to make sacrifices to him. The demon bird, they had to make sacrifices to him. The demon woman, they was making sacrifices to her offspring. So yes, those blood sacrifices are still required. They just got leaders that do it on a side way. And you can think about who the leaders are and who they sacrificing to. And you'll see that, hey, they still got bodies coming in, but they got a head how they come in, but they still getting bodies. And all the text that I wrote, and I read a lot of text, but they never showed the death of those beings. Never showed the death of the demon snake. Never showed the death of the demon bird. Never showed the death of the demon woman. Never showed the death of the alien. None of that. None of that. So therefore, those things are still alive. Yeah. So be aware that I'm not here to bust your balls. I'm just gonna give you some knowledge, crack it straight in half, babe. Because trying to put somebody in a position to be afraid of some nonsense. They try to make you feel afraid or goddess. God in the Bible. Mm, no, your natural God was a God of nature. You know, the God of nature. We worship nature. We worship the things that kept us alive, like, the rain, the dew. We were very at one with earth. This was our mother, and we were in her womb. And then, plow, something come drop down in there and took you hostage, and you still hostage, baby. That's all that went down. We need to get back to earth, get back to nature. She didn't want us to have all these machines that cause cancer. Like everything new that we get and it just make you sicker and sicker. Soon it's gonna be like you pick up the phone and your face burn off. I mean, you're gonna need a nuclear shield in between you and your desktop. So yeah. So I enjoyed talking to y'all, and that was a 51-minute one. That's pretty long. And so let me get on off of here. But I hope y'all got something out of that.